The second you stop, it's over. Not because you couldn't win, but because you chose not to. The ones who make it aren't the strongest. They aren't the smartest. They're the ones who kept going when everyone else tapped out. It's not luck, it's not chance, it's endurance. So ask yourself, are you going to outlast the pain, or are you going to fold and stay stuck where you are? Because in the end, it's simple. Keep going and eventually you win. Quit and you lose forever. The middle is where most people break. The beginning is nothing. Anybody can start. Day one, everyone's fired up, everybody's got energy, everybody's motivated, everybody's proud of themselves for taking the first step. They talk big, they post big, they act like they've already won just because they showed up. But let me tell you this, starting is cheap. Starting doesn't prove anything. Anyone can take the first step, and the end, that's the easiest part of all. Because when the finish line is in sight, when the results are visible, when the trophies are lined up, everyone shows up again. Suddenly the crowd is back. Suddenly the same people who ignored you want to clap for you, shake your hand, stand beside you like they believed in you the whole time. Victory is celebrated by everyone, but earned by almost no one. But the middle is the truth teller. The middle is the battlefield. The middle is where men are either made or broken. Because the middle, it's long, it's cold, it's lonely, it's thankless. The middle is where the lights go out. The cameras stop rolling, nobody's cheering, nobody's impressed. And for the first time, it's just you against yourself. The middle is the grind that nobody talks about. The early mornings that nobody sees. The late nights where you're running on fumes. The meals you skip. The sacrifices you make. The hours you put in that nobody claps for. The middle is cruel. It will whisper in your ear, you're wasting your time. It will remind you of every failure. It will tempt you to quit, to go back to comfort, to join the crowd of people who gave up halfway. And that's exactly why the middle is where most people die. Not physically, but mentally, spiritually. The middle is the graveyard of potential. It's the place where men bury their dreams. It's where the weak tap out. It's where the pretenders disappear. Because the middle is designed to break you. That's its job. It's supposed to hurt. It's supposed to strip away your excuses, your laziness, your comfort. It's supposed to test you, to see if you were serious when you said you wanted it. But here's the truth. If you're in the middle, you're in the right place. It means you've survived the shallow phase where everyone else quit. It means you're being tested, not punished. It means you're standing in the fire where transformation actually happens. Because no man is built at the start, and no man is built at the end. Men are built in the middle. Steel is forged in fire, not sunshine. Muscle is built in pain, not comfort. Character is shaped in the dark, not the spotlight. And greatness is born in the middle, where the weak break and the strong refuse to die. The middle is war. It's your discipline versus your doubt. It's your hunger versus your excuses. It's your patience versus your desperation for instant results. And make no mistake, this war will not be easy. It will be ugly, it will be bloody, and most people will lose, but not you. Because you're still here, you're still in the fight, and the fact that you're still breathing, still pushing, still grinding in the middle, that's proof. Proof that you haven't been broken yet. So here's what you need to understand. The middle isn't failure. The middle isn't the end. The middle is the battleground where your old self dies and your new self is born. The middle is proof that you're in the process of becoming something greater than you were yesterday. And if you endure it, if you refuse to quit when it's quiet, when it's thankless, when it feels impossible, then the middle will reward you with something far greater than victory. Because when the end comes, you won't just have the trophy. You'll have the scars. You'll have the story. You'll have the unshakable strength of a man who walked through hell and came out on the other side undefeated. That's why the middle exists, not to stop you, but to reveal you, to ask you one question: are you really built for this? And if your answer is yes, then you keep going. You fight another day. You take another step. You endure one more round. Because the middle was designed to break you, but if you endure it, if you rise in the place meant to destroy you, nothing will ever break you again. Quitting guarantees failure. Enduring guarantees growth. Every man hears the same voice in his head, that whisper that says, "Stop, you've done enough. Why are you still trying? Look around, nothing's changing. Just quit." That whisper is the voice of weakness, the voice of mediocrity, the same voice that killed the dreams of millions of men before you. And if you listen to it, if you obey it, your story ends right there. Because quitting doesn't make the pain disappear. Quitting doesn't make life easier. Quitting doesn't free you from the struggle. No, quitting only guarantees one thing: you will fail. Not maybe, not sometimes, not in rare cases. Every single time when a man quits, his dream dies. The outcome is sealed, done, finished, lost forever. You can try to justify it with clever excuses. You can call it taking a break. You can hide behind words like balance, patience, or realism. But the truth doesn't bend. The truth doesn't care about your excuses. The truth is this: you quit. And the second you quit, you erase every ounce of progress you ever made. Think about that. All the hours, all the effort, all the sweat, all the sacrifice, burned to the ground because you didn't endure. That's what quitting does. It robs you of your future and it steals your past. But if you refuse to quit, if you stay in the fight, you keep your chance alive. You might be behind, you might be hurting, you might be crawling. But as long as you don't stop, you are still in the game. And here's the secret: time always rewards endurance. Because endurance is not passive. Endurance is power. Endurance is resistance. Endurance is proof you cannot be broken. Every day you endure, you grow harder. Every battle you survive, you grow sharper. Every storm you outlast, you grow stronger. And strength is not built in the easy days. Strength is forged in the days you want to quit. Growth hides in the fire. It waits for the man who refuses to bow. Look at the men you admire, the ones who inspire you. They weren't lucky. They weren't chosen. They weren't smarter or more talented than you. They just refused to quit. They didn't fold under pressure. They didn't collapse when it got ugly. They outlasted the weak. That's the difference. Not talent, not genetics, not fate. The difference is simple. They endured. They pushed past the point of exhaustion. They dragged themselves through the mud. They kept going when their bodies screamed and their minds begged them to stop. And because of that, they crossed the finish line most men never see. Now here's the part most men don't understand. The moment you want to quit is not the end. It is the beginning. That's the threshold. That's the test. That's the doorway to becoming unbreakable. Weak men quit at the threshold. Strong men endure past it. And if you endure past it, you find a version of yourself you didn't even know existed. A man with a mind forged in fire. A man with a body that refuses to quit. A man with a willpower that terrifies his enemies. That's the reward of endurance. So the next time your chest is heaving, your legs are shaking, your mind is screaming for mercy, don't fold, don't break, don't give in. Because in that exact moment, when every cell in your body wants to quit, you are closer to growth than ever before. You are standing at the edge of the breakthrough. Push one more rep, take one more step, last one more round. Because every second you endure, you widen the gap between you and the men who quit. That's why quitting guarantees failure. That's why endurance guarantees growth. And if you endure long enough, if you refuse to break, if you refuse to quit, you will win. Not by chance, not by luck, not by fate, but because the man who cannot be broken cannot be defeated. So remember this: quitting is a coffin, endurance is a weapon, and the man who endures until the end always becomes the man the world cannot ignore. The quitters clear the path. You think you're losing. You think you're falling behind. You think the world is leaving you in the dust. No, that's an illusion. That's weakness whispering in your ear. Look closer. Pay attention. Every single day you stay in the fight, another man gives up. Every single step you take, someone else taps out. Every single hour you refuse to quit, the battlefield gets emptier. The grind doesn't just build you. It doesn't just sharpen you. It eliminates the ones who don't belong. This is what most people don't understand. Struggle is a filter. It's not here to destroy you. It's here to reveal you. It separates the dreamers from the doers. It separates the boys from the men. It separates the ones who want it from the ones who are willing to bleed for it. Everybody loves the idea of success. Everybody loves the fantasy of winning. Day one, they're fired up. They post about it. They brag. They scream that nothing will stop them. But time doesn't care about hype. Pain doesn't care about promises. The grind doesn't care about who said they wanted it the most. Wait a week. Wait a month. Wait until the first wall smashes them in the face. That's when the truth comes out. That's when most men fold, because they weren't built for this. They weren't built for nights with no sleep, days with no reward, months with no applause. They weren't built to keep going when nobody's watching. They weren't built to choke down the pain and still move forward. But you're still here, and here's the reward. Every quitter clears the road for you. Every man who falls behind makes your victory closer. Every weak one who steps off the field makes the spotlight brighter when it's your turn. The grind is thinning the crowd. The struggle you hate is the very thing that's removing your competition. It's not you against the world, it's you against time. And every day that passes, there are fewer left standing beside you. Understand this: you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be the strongest. You don't need to be the fastest. You just need to be the last man refusing to break. That's what winning really is. It's not about who explodes out of the gate. It's about who refuses to stay down when the gate crushes them. It's not about who shines the brightest in the beginning. It's about who's still shining when the lights go out. Every day you outlast, you win. Every time you endure, you climb. Every time you take one more step when your legs are screaming, you get closer. Think about it. The battlefield doesn't reward the loudest. It rewards the last man standing. The throne doesn't go to the flashiest. It goes to the one who refused to leave. And here's the cold truth. That might not be tomorrow. That might not be next week. It might take years. But those years are where the herd gets separated. Those years are where most men vanish. And those years are where legends are born. You're not falling behind. You're not losing ground. You're clearing the field. Step by step, day by day, fight by fight. And when the smoke finally clears, when the dust finally settles, when every pretender is gone, when every talker is exposed, when every weak one has been burned out of the game, there will only be one left: you. Not because you had the easiest road, not because you had the most talent, not because you had the loudest voice, but because you refused to quit when it mattered, because you were unbreakable, because you kept swinging when your arms were tired, kept walking when your legs were heavy, kept believing when your mind screamed, stop. That's what men are built for. Not comfort, not excuses, not shortcuts, but war, but endurance, but survival. So stop thinking you're behind. Stop thinking you're losing. Stop looking around at who's ahead and who's behind. The quitters are already clearing the path for you. Your job is simple. Keep walking it. Keep marching forward. Keep dragging your body, your soul, your will through the fire. because the field is emptying. And one day soon, when the dust settles and the silence hits, you'll realize something chilling. You're the last one standing. The battlefield belongs to the men who endure. The throne belongs to the man who refuses to quit. And that man is you. Become too dangerous to be ignored. Winning isn't an accident. It isn't a gift. It isn't luck. Winning is the natural outcome for the man who refuses to quit, refuses to soften, and refuses to remain ordinary. Most men, they waste their lives waiting. They wait for motivation. They wait for inspiration. They wait for permission. They wait for the perfect time. And the years pass them by. They grow older, softer, weaker. They wake up one day realizing they traded their fire for comfort, their dreams for distractions, and their potential for excuses. They vanish into the noise. They die, forgotten, but not you. You're not here to die average. You're not here to be another nameless, faceless man in the crowd. You're here to carve yourself into steel. You're here to build a body, a mind, and a spirit so relentless, so dangerous, that the world has no choice but to notice. Every rep you grind when no one sees you. Every early morning you rise while the weak men sleep. Every late night where you sharpen instead of wasting time. Every sacrifice you make when others are chasing pleasure. That is where you're becoming unstoppable. That is where you are forging the weapon, because eventually something happens inside a man like you. You stop hoping to win. You stop wishing for luck. You stop asking life to give you something. You stop waiting, and you start becoming the man who cannot lose. Think about it. How do you defeat a man who grows stronger every time he's knocked down? How do you break a man who finds fuel in every failure? How do you stop a man who has already walked through hell and decided he will never bow? You don't. You can't. And that is exactly why he wins. Most men are soft. They look for shortcuts. They avoid discomfort. They'd rather stay comfortable and dream about winning than bleed for it, and that's why they stay forgettable. But you're not chasing shortcuts. You're not building yourself for applause. You're not grinding so someone can pat you on the back. You're building yourself into a weapon, a man of discipline, a man of focus, a man so relentless that when opportunity cracks open, you don't hesitate, you don't freeze, you don't doubt, you strike. And when you strike, it isn't timid, it isn't cautious, it's ruthless, it's precise, it's final. That's the difference. The quitters vanish, the talkers keep talking, the weak keep waiting. But the man who builds himself into something dangerous, the man who shows up when everyone else disappears, the man who refuses to break, refuses to bow, refuses to stop, that man doesn't just win, he dominates. Understand this. The world doesn't reward the comfortable. The world doesn't crown the man who almost tried. The world bows to the man who refuses to quit. To the man who becomes too strong, too cold, too relentless to be ignored. And here's what's coming. Eventually, your discipline will outweigh your doubts. Eventually, your scars will outweigh your fear. Eventually, your consistency will outweigh every excuse. And when that day comes, no one will stop you. No one will deny you. No one will be able to ignore you. Because you won't just be in the game. You'll be the storm that ends it. Eventually, you will win, not because the world handed it to you, not because you got lucky, not because it was easy. You will win because you became too dangerous to ignore, too disciplined to break, too cold to fear, too relentless to stop. And when that moment comes, you won't just succeed, you won't just survive, you will dominate, you will rise. You will become the man they whisper about when you're not in the room. So sharpen yourself, suffer if you must, bleed if you must, endure until endurance itself bows to you. Stay in the fire until the fire itself respects you, because one day soon, the world won't just see you, it won't just hear you, it won't just notice you, it will have no choice but to kneel. Eventually, you will win, because you will have become the man no one can ignore. In the end, winning doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of persistence, patience, and refusing to quit when others do. Every setback is just a test. Every delay is building your strength. And if you keep showing up, if you keep pushing, eventually you will win. If this message hit you, drop a like, subscribe for more, and comment "I never quit" to prove you watched till the very end. Because winners aren't defined by speed, they're defined by endurance. And those who endure always win in the end. See you in the next one. Everybody wants results, but the second it gets hard, most people quit. They want the success, but not the sacrifice, the body, but not the pain, the freedom, but not the grind. But here's the truth: if it's easy, it's not worth it. Because anything that comes easy doesn't last, and anything that lasts never comes easy. You want strength, you're gonna bleed for it. You want respect, you'll earn it in silence when no one's watching. You want to win, then get ready to suffer when most people sleep. Everything worth doing is hard. That's the price. That's the barrier. That's what separates the weak from the relentless. You don't grow in comfort. You grow in the fire when you want to quit but keep pushing. When your mind says stop but your heart says go. That's where men are made. So stop searching for the easy way. There isn't one. If it's easy, it's not worth it. And if it's worth it, you better be ready to bleed for it. Most people break when it gets hard. That's where you rise. That's where you separate. Let's talk about what separates winners from the rest. It's not skill, it's not luck, it's not motivation. It's what you do when everything goes dark. It's what you do when the hype dies down, when no one's watching, when the dopamine wears off, when it stops being fun and starts being war. Because everybody's loud when they're fresh. Everybody's a lion when the sun's out. Everybody's got that grind set when it's convenient. But life doesn't care about your vibe. Life doesn't care about your playlist, your followers, or your intentions. Life is coming to test your spirit, and it doesn't knock. It kicks the door in. No warning, no mercy, no shortcuts. The second you start chasing something real, something that matters, life shows up with a bat and says, let's see how bad you really want it. It'll throw failure in your face. It'll strip away your comfort. It'll isolate you. It'll break your rhythm. And it's in that moment, that brutal, silent, lonely moment, that most people fold. They start looking for plan B. They blame the economy, their childhood, their genetics. They say, maybe it just wasn't meant for me. Nonsense. They didn't fail because they weren't capable. They failed because they were never willing to go all in. But you're not here for comfort. You're not here to exist. You're here to dominate, to earn your place, to become something they said you couldn't. And guess what? That road, that mission, it's not going to be easy. It's not supposed to be, because easy doesn't change you. Easy doesn't transform boys into men. Easy doesn't forge warriors. Easy doesn't demand everything from you. And that's exactly what greatness requires. You want power, you want freedom, you want to walk into any room and own it because you earned it, then understand this. Hard is the path, hard is the point, hard is the process that rips away weakness, distraction, laziness, and comfort. It strips away the fluff. It forces you to face your own reflection and ask, am I really about this, or am I just pretending? Most people pretend. They like the idea of success, not the sacrifice. They want the reward, not the responsibility. They want the praise, not the pressure. But pressure is the only way you become more. Pressure is the only way to unlock your edge. Pressure is the only place your real self is revealed. Masculinity isn't born in pleasure, it's born in pain. When your hands are dirty, when your body's exhausted, when your soul is screaming for rest, but you keep pushing, that's when you earn your name. You think legends are made in peace? No, they are made in war. Made in the moments when the body gives up, but the spirit refuses to. And the best part? Most won't do it. They'll stay on the sidelines, talking, dreaming, complaining, living life in neutral, hoping things work out. Not you. You were built for more, and you feel it. Every time you're frustrated, every time you look around and feel out of place, every time you think to yourself, there has to be more to life than this. That feeling, that's not a weakness. That's a call to rise. That's a call to suffer now, so you don't suffer forever. That's a call to enter the fire and let it forge you. Let the world watch. Let them doubt you. Let them laugh when you fail. Because one day, they won't be laughing. They'll be wondering how you did it. They'll be studying your moves. They'll be telling your story. And you'll look back at the early days, the lonely days, the hard days, and you'll smile. Because you'll know those were the days that built you. So when it gets hard, don't flinch. Don't run. Don't complain. Lock in. Clench your fists. Straighten your spine and lean into the fire. Because this moment where everyone else backs down, this is where you rise. Do hard things on purpose. Listen closely. You will never unlock your full potential living life on easy mode. You will never find greatness on the smooth road, the soft couch, or behind excuses. Growth lives in resistance. Strength lives in the struggle. Victory lives in pain. So if you're serious about building the life you talk about, then it's time to do the things most people aren't willing to do. Not once, not twice, every single day. Wake up before the alarm. Not because it's fun, but because you're on a mission. Train when you're sore. Not because it's easy, but because you've got work to do. Study when your mind is shot. Work when your body is exhausted. Focus when your attention wants to run. Because those moments, those gritty, uncomfortable, inconvenient moments, that's where men are forged. You don't build resilience when it's 75 and sunny. You build it when it's cold, when you're tired, when the world says rest, and you answer back, not yet. I've still got work to do. Every time you choose the hard way, you separate yourself from the average. You carve your name into a different category. You shift from being one of many to being one of one. You want a body that commands respect? Earn it. You want a mind that doesn't crack under pressure? Test it. You want a life that turns heads and sets standards? Grind for it, bleed for it, sacrifice for it, because there is no other way. The men you admire, the ones who walk with power, speak with certainty, and live with purpose, they didn't get there by accident. They got there because they chose the hard things daily. When their friends were relaxing, they were building. When others were quitting, they kept going. When everyone else was crying about how unfair life is, they were too focused working on themselves to even notice. Let me be clear. No one is coming to make you strong. No one is coming to fix your life. No one is coming to drag you out of bed, force you to train, and hand you discipline. That's on you. It always has been. And you have two choices. Live soft. Take the easy path. Blame everyone else. Stay stuck, average, and invisible. Fit in with the crowd. Shrink when it gets hard and spend your life wondering what if. Or rise up. Walk toward the pain. Choose hard things on purpose. Become the man who keeps showing up long after the others have quit. The man who doesn't get weaker when life hits him. He gets meaner, hungrier, sharper. Because real men don't avoid the fire, they walk into it to get stronger. Every time you pick the hard path, you gain something the soft path will never offer. Unshakable self-respect, bulletproof confidence, mental fortitude that no storm can break, a legacy that echoes. And the best part? The more you do it, the more it becomes who you are. Not a challenge, not a punishment, but a standard. You no longer need motivation. You are the motivation. Your actions speak before your words ever can. Because the man who does hard things on purpose doesn't just train his body, he sharpens his soul. He builds character brick by brick. And when the world tries to throw weight on his shoulders, he laughs and adds more. So when people ask, why do you push so hard? Why do you wake up early? Why are you always grinding? Let them ask. You don't need to explain. Your results will speak. Your discipline will speak. Your presence will roar. You are becoming a force, not a boy playing pretend, a man in full, a leader, a protector, a warrior. And warriors aren't built by luck. They're built by choice. The choice to show up when no one is watching. The choice to go harder when everyone else is coasting. The choice to live like everything is on the line. Because guess what? It is. This is your life. This is your shot. There's no rewind button, no cheat code, no rescue mission. It's you. You against the weakness inside you. You against the old you. You against the excuses, the distractions, the self-doubt. And every time you choose discipline over comfort, you win. Every time you suffer with purpose, you win. Every time you do the hard thing when no one would have blamed you for quitting, you win. So do hard things. Do them again. Do them until it's normal. Do them until the old you is unrecognizable. Do them until the world has no choice but to respect you. And when you become that version of yourself, don't stop. Double down. Because you weren't born to be soft. You weren't made to blend in. You weren't built to coast through life. You were made for war. And war is won by those who show up and suffer on purpose. Pain builds the person you're trying to become. There's a version of you out there that doesn't flinch. He doesn't hesitate. He doesn't break. He walks with power. He speaks with conviction. He moves through life like a man on a mission. But he's not living in your comfort zone. He's not waiting for you on the other side of ease. He's behind the wall of pain, pressure, failure, and struggle. And you don't meet him by chance. You fight your way to him. You bleed your way to him. You build him rep by rep, decision by decision, battle by battle. You see, most people spend their lives avoiding pain, avoiding hardship, avoiding anything that might make them uncomfortable. But you're not most people, are you? Because pain is not your punishment. Pain is your process. It's the sculptor of strength. It carves the softness out of you and replaces it with steel. It sharpens your edges. It forges your character. Pain is the fire that burns off the weak parts of you and reveals the weapon beneath. You want to grow? Then suffer. Suffer with purpose. Suffer with direction. Because real growth doesn't happen when you feel good. It happens when your legs are shaking, your lungs are burning, your mind is screaming, quit. And you don't. You keep moving anyway. That's where transformation lives. Not in theory, not in motivational speeches, but in the trenches. When it's 5 a.m. and it's cold and you're sore and tired and no one is watching and you still show up. That's where confidence, it's not born from easy wins. It's born when you faced hell and came back stronger. When you know you've suffered and survived. You look in the mirror and you don't just see someone who talks tough, you see someone who is tough. Discipline, that's not something you wait to feel, it's a decision, a mindset. It's when you do the hard thing, especially when you don't feel like it. It's when you choose to suffer now so you can live free later. You think greatness happens by accident? No, they're built. They're built through heartbreak, through late nights alone in the dark, when no one claps and no one sees and no one cares, but you keep going anyway. Why? Because you're chasing something bigger. Because you're not here to be average. Because there's a man inside you who's been buried under fear, laziness, and excuses for too long, and he's ready to rise. But he's not free yet. You've got to earn him. You've got to bleed for him. You've got to take the hits, wipe the blood off your mouth, and say, is that all you've got? You've got to outwork your doubts, outlast your pain, outgrow your old self, until the old you couldn't even stand next to the man you've become. So let the weak sleep, let the complainers complain, let the soft stay soft. You've got work to do, real work, painful work, but sacred work. Because every drop of sweat, every failure, every lonely night, every hard decision, it's building you. It's building the man who can carry his dreams, the man who doesn't fold under pressure. He performs under pressure. The man who doesn't run from pain, he uses it. Because pain is a tool. Pain is your training ground. Pain is the gateway to power. So don't avoid it. Embrace it, chase it, own it. Let it sharpen your focus. Let it feed your hunger. Let it remind you you're still alive. You're still in the fight. You're still becoming him. And that version of you, the one you keep seeing in your head, the one who walks tall, unshakable, untouchable, he's real. But he's waiting at the end of the pain. So suffer now, so you can live free later. In the end, the hard path becomes the only path. There will come a day when you're standing at the top, breathing heavier, heart pounding louder, body scarred from the battles you fought, but standing strong. And in that moment of silence, in that calm after the war, you'll finally understand. Every hard thing you ever did was worth it. Not just worth it, it was necessary, essential. The price you had to pay to become something more. You won't smile thinking about the times you coasted. You won't be proud of the times you took it easy, sat back, relaxed. No, you'll remember the early mornings where your bed begged you to stay. The late nights grinding in silence while everyone else slept. The pain in your chest when you pushed yourself beyond your limits. The doubt that crept into your head and the decision to fight through it anyway. You'll remember the grind, the blood, the sweat, the fear, the silence, the setbacks that almost broke you, the moments that screamed you're not good enough, and your refusal to listen. That's what sticks with you, not the comfort, not the easy wins, the fire, the fight, the war you had with yourself, because that's where you were forged, in the furnace of adversity, in the crucible of pressure, when your back was against the wall and quitting was the easy option, but you didn't. That's when something inside you changed. That's when the boy died and the man was born. Let everyone else chase shortcuts. Let them waste their lives running from difficulty. Let them live soft, settle early, fade quietly, but not you. You weren't built for that. You were built to struggle, to suffer with purpose, to climb while your legs shake, to bleed with your teeth clenched, to win not by luck, but by force. You were made to earn every inch of progress, every rep, every rejection, every early morning and every late night. You earned your growth with pain. You bought your strength with sacrifice, and you built your identity one hard choice at a time. And one day when you finally made it, when the world calls you lucky, you'll laugh. Because they didn't see the years behind the scenes. They didn't see the tears, the doubts, the sacrifices. They didn't see what it cost to get there. But you'll know you